Welcome back to Readology Review, your go-to podcast for insightful deep dives into transformative books. Today, we're tackling a classic that has shaped countless lives, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen R. Covey. I'm your host, Emma, and joining me, as always, is our resident book expert, Ethan. Ethan, it's great to have you.
Thanks, Emma. It's always a pleasure to be here. This book is a personal favorite of mine, and it's packed with profound wisdom that's as relevant today as it was when it was first published.
Absolutely. It's been on so many must-read lists. So let's jump right in. Ethan, what problem was Stephen Covey trying to solve or address when he wrote this book? What was the core issue he observed in people striving for success?
That's a fantastic starting point, Emma. Covey observed that many individuals, despite achieving incredible outward success in their careers, businesses, and even education, often found themselves struggling with a profound inner hunger. This inner hunger was a deep need for personal congruency, effectiveness, and healthy, growing relationships with others. He saw people setting and meeting career goals, achieving tremendous professional success, but at the cost of their personal and family lives. They felt disconnected from their loved ones and even from themselves, questioning if it was all worth it. Covey highlighted examples like repeatedly failing diet despite positive mental attitudes, feeling a lack of loyalty from employees despite management training, and strained family relationships like the rebellious teenage son or a marriage that had simply gone flat. These weren't superficial issues. They were deep, painful problems that quick-fix approaches couldn't solve.
That really resonates, this idea of outward success not necessarily equating to inner fulfillment. So what did Covey discover was at the root of these deep problems?
He noticed a startling pattern when he researched success literature published since 1776 in the United States. He found that much of the success literature from the past 50 years was superficial, focusing on social image consciousness, techniques, and quick fixes. He called this the personality ethic, which emphasized public image, attitudes, behaviors, and communication skills to lubricate the processes of human interaction. This approach often encouraged manipulation or faking interest to get what one wanted. In contrast, almost all of the literature from the first 150 years or so focused on what he termed the character ethic. This older ethic was founded on principles like integrity, humility, fidelity, temperance, courage, justice, patience, industry, simplicity, modesty, and the golden rule. It taught that true success and enduring happiness come from learning and integrating these basic principles into one's fundamental character. Covey realized that the personality ethic, with its focus on secondary traits, was the subconscious source of many problems, including the struggles he and his wife faced with their son.
That's a huge distinction. So it sounds like the personality ethic is about outward appearance or techniques, while the character ethic is about fundamental principles. How did this understanding of paradigms, or how we see the world, become central to his approach?
Precisely, Emma. Covey emphasizes that our paradigms, which he defines as our models, theories, perceptions, assumptions, or frames of reference, govern the way we see the world, and in turn, how we behave. He uses the powerful analogy of paradigms as maps. If you have the wrong map, no amount of effort or positive attitude will get you to the right destination faster. It'll just get you to the wrong place more quickly. He illustrates this with the famous perception demonstration of the young woman/old woman image. Two people can look at the same image, disagree on what they see, and both be right, simply because they've been conditioned to interpret the facts differently. This demonstrates how powerfully conditioning affects our perceptions and how our paradigms are the source of our attitudes and behaviors. To truly change a situation, we first have to change ourselves. And to change ourselves effectively, we first have to change our perceptions. This is what he calls a paradigm shift, a sudden aha experience where you see things in a completely new way.
That makes so much sense. It's like seeing the forest for the trees, or in this case, the map for the territory. Now, what about the idea of effectiveness itself? How does Covey define that in a way that ties into these core principles?
He introduces a fundamental principle he calls the P/PC balance, which is beautifully illustrated by Aesop's fable of the goose and the golden eggs. P stands for production of desired results, the golden eggs, and PC stands for production capability, the ability or asset that produces those golden eggs, which is the goose. Most people focus solely on production, on getting more golden eggs, but true effectiveness lies in maintaining a balance between production and production capability. If you neglect the goose, the producing asset, you'll eventually have no golden eggs at all. This applies to physical assets like a lawnmower, financial assets like your earning capacity, and most importantly, human assets like relationships within a marriage or with your children. For instance, demanding a clean room, P, while neglecting the relationship and internal commitment needed to achieve it cheerfully, PC, undermines the goose.
So it's about sustainable success rather than just short-term gains. That's powerful. And where does this lead us in terms of personal growth? What's the maturity continuum that the book talks about?
The 7 habits are designed to move us progressively along a maturity continuum, from dependence to independence to interdependence. Dependence is the paradigm of you. You take care of me. You didn't come through. I blame you. We all start here as infants. Independence is the paradigm of I. I can do it. I am responsible. I am self-reliant. I can choose. This is a major achievement in and of itself. Interdependence is the paradigm of we. We can do it. We can cooperate. We can combine our talents and abilities to create something greater, together. This is a far more mature and advanced concept. The critical insight here, Emma, is that true interdependence can only be achieved by truly independent people. Dependent people lack the character to choose interdependence. They don't own enough of themselves. This continuum sets the stage for the habits themselves.
That's a clear framework for growth. Before we dive into the habits, Ethan, let's take a quick break.
Sounds good, Emma.
To support the author and publisher, we encourage you to purchase and read the full physical version of the book. And if you'd like us to create a brief summary or review of a particular book, don't hesitate to leave a comment under this video. If we've read it, we'll definitely fulfill your request. And we're back on Readology Review. So, Ethan, the book is structured around 7 habits. Can you give us an overview and explain how they build upon each other, especially with that maturity continuum in mind?
Absolutely, Emma. The 7 habits are an incremental, sequential, and highly integrated approach. They're divided into 3 private victories that move you from dependence to independence, and 3 public victories that move you from independence to interdependence. The 7th habit then circles and embodies all the others, focusing on continuous improvement. Let's start with the private victories, which are all about self-mastery and building character. Habit 1. Be proactive. This is foundational. It means we are responsible for our own lives. Our behavior is a function of our decisions, not our conditions. Covey emphasizes the freedom to choose between stimulus and response, a principle Viktor Frankl discovered in Nazi death camps. Proactive people focus their efforts on their circle of influence, things they can control, rather than their circle of concern, things they can't. It's about taking initiative, using our self-awareness, imagination, conscience, and independent will to act, rather than being acted upon. Habit 2. Begin with the end in mind. This is about personal leadership. It's the first mental creation of things. Before you build a house, you design it. Before you start a business, you plan it. It means starting with a clear understanding of your destination, your life's ultimate purpose and values as your frame of reference. The most effective way to do this is to develop a personal mission statement, which clarifies what you want to be, character, and do, contributions or achievements, based on your deepest values and principles. This statement becomes your personal constitution, providing a changeless core in a rapidly changing world. Habit 3. Put first things first. This is about personal management, the second, physical creation. It's the day in, day out, moment by moment doing it. This habit is the practical fulfillment of habits 1 and 2, requiring independent will and integrity to subordinate impulses and moods to values. Covey introduces the time management matrix, emphasizing quadrant 2 activities, those that are important but not urgent. These are things like building relationships, long-range planning, exercise, and preventive maintenance. Focusing on quadrant 2 activities through weekly organizing and stewardship delegation is key to making quantum leaps in effectiveness.
So once you've mastered yourself, you're ready to interact effectively with others. That brings us to the public victories.
Exactly. These habits build on the foundation of independence and lead to effective interdependence. Habit 4. Think win-win. This is a paradigm of human interaction that constantly seeks mutual benefit in all relationships. It sees life as a cooperative arena, not a competitive one, based on the abundance mentality, the belief that there's plenty for everyone. This is contrasted with win-lose, lose-win, lose-lose, and simply win mentalities, which often lead to long-term negative consequences in interdependent realities. The highest form is win-win or no deal, meaning if a mutually beneficial solution can't be found, it's better not to make a deal at all, especially in business relationships. Habit 5. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. This is the key to effective interpersonal communication. Most people listen with the intent to reply, filtering everything through their own autobiography. Covey advocates empathic listening, which means listening with the intent to truly understand, to get inside another person's frame of reference. It involves listening not just with your ears, but with your eyes and heart for feeling and meaning. This creates psychological air for the other person and makes huge deposits in the emotional bank account. Only after genuinely understanding can you effectively seek to be understood by presenting your ideas with personal credibility, ethos, pathos, and logic, logos. Habit 6. Synergize. This is the culmination, the creative cooperation that means the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. It's about valuing differences, mental, emotional, psychological, and building on strengths while compensating for weaknesses. When people communicate synergistically, they open their minds and hearts to new possibilities, creating new alternatives that weren't there before, often better than any originally proposed. It's about transcending limits and creating a mini culture of mutual learning and excitement.
Wow, that's a powerful progression. And finally, how do we keep all these habits going? What's the 7th habit?
Habit 7 is sharpen the saw, which is about balanced self-renewal. It's about preserving and enhancing your greatest asset, yourself, by renewing the 4 dimensions of your nature: physical, exercising regularly, eating right, getting sufficient rest. This builds endurance, flexibility, and strength. It's a quadrant 2 activity that reinforces proactivity. Spiritual, renewing your core values and commitment to your value system. This can involve prayer, meditation, immersing in inspiring literature, or connecting with nature. It provides leadership to your life, reinforcing habit 2. Mental, continuing your education, reading broadly, writing, and planning. This expands your mind, knowledge base, and options, reinforcing habit 3. Social and emotional. Renewing this dimension is done in our everyday interactions by practicing habits 4, 5, and 6. It involves building the emotional bank account, valuing differences, seeking to understand, and engaging in synergistic cooperation. It fosters intrinsic security, helping us contribute and serve others. The concept is that renewal in any one dimension positively impacts the others because they are highly interrelated. This continuous process of improvement creates an upward spiral of growth, where learning, committing, and doing on increasingly higher planes drives you toward greater effectiveness and fulfillment.
That brings it all together beautifully. It's not just about discrete actions, but a holistic approach to life. What's one key takeaway you'd want our listeners to remember from this entire framework?
The most fundamental takeaway is that change, real change, comes from the inside out. It doesn't come from just trying to change outward attitudes and behaviors. That's hacking at the leaves. Instead, it comes from striking at the root, working on your basic paradigms, your character, and your motives. When you embody correct principles, your character radiates trust, allowing for genuine relationships and sustainable effectiveness. Private victories precede public victories. You can't invert that process. It's a continuous process of renewal, of constantly sharpening your saw.
That's a powerful and practical message. The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People truly provides a roadmap for a life of integrity, contribution, and deep satisfaction. Ethan, thank you so much for breaking down this incredible book for us today. Your insights always bring these concepts to life.
My pleasure, Emma. It's a book that truly gets to the heart of what it means to be effective in all areas of life.
And to all our listeners, thank you for joining us on Readology Review. We hope this deep dive into Stephen Covey's work inspires you to embark on your own journey of personal growth from the inside out. We'll be back next time with another impactful book. Until then, keep reading, keep growing.